Christine, I heard that you found yourself a new man to be engaged to. I bet you're so proud of yourself for getting there with him. As always, you are able to come out on top. What kind of man is he? I'm your best friend, so you should be willing to introduce him to me sometime soon.
It's been a long time, Gina. You do understand that I have no want to show my fiancé to you, right? Have you already forgotten what you did to me the last time that would make me feel this way?
Are you still complaining about what happened so long ago? That happened so far in the past that I've totally forgotten what happened in the first place.
Well, I have not forgotten what happened, and I never planned to let go of what happened to me because of you.
But it doesn't really matter anymore to anyone, right? You're going to be getting married soon here, right? So you can go ahead and forget about what happened to your last fiancé and move on. Having to drag that unneeded weight with you throughout your life is only going to slow you down.
I have forgotten about my last fiancé, but I will never forget about how my once best friend stole my fiancé right from my hands.
Ah, so this is about all that then. Well, in my case, all of that happened so long ago that my memory of it is really vague. But you should consider yourself lucky for finding a new man willing to marry you. So what kind of man is he?
I told you that I don't plan on introducing him to you, right? Now goodbye, Gina.
Well, do as you please. If you're going to try and keep him away from me, I guess I'll go look for him myself.
What do you mean you'll go looking for him? What the heck are you up to? I don't think he's the kind of man you should be going out looking for. So, can you stop talking like you've gone mad and just leave me and my fiancé alone? I've had enough of you in my life after what you pulled last time, and I'm still pretty speechless from the day I found out. So don't expect to be hearing from or seeing me again.
Even if you don't plan to deal with me anymore, I want to meet your fiancé. If I just apologize to you about the past, will you forgive me and let me come see him?
I'll forgive you as long as you promise to never come around me and my fiancé. How does that sound? That probably wouldn't stop you, so I won't forgive you. Now goodbye.
I'm assuming that you got the invitation to my upcoming wedding, correct? Isn't this just crazy? Did you take a look at it yet?
Yeah, I did take a quick look at it.
How does it feel, Christine? How does it feel to have lost yet another one of your fiancés to me?
I have to say, I never thought you could stoop even lower than you had and do the same crap to me again. But aren't you jumping the gun on that marriage a little too quick? Are you sure it's okay for you to be getting ready to marry him when you've only known him for a few weeks? What I'm trying to ask is, do you really know what kind of man you've just stolen from me?
Him and I both have a burning love for one another, and that's why we want to get married now. Is this what they call a destined marriage? Right now, I'm in his arms, and he's never going to let go of me because we love each other so much, Christine.
You said that the last time you stole my fiancé, Gina. But that time, you and my ex immediately learned that you didn't really love one another and broke up, right?
Well, he turned out to be a pretty boring man after all. But since then, it's been 2 years and I'm turning 30 soon. I've really been wanting to become someone's wife. So I told myself that the next man I get, I'm keeping. So this is all working out perfectly for me. I was able to get a pretty good-looking man from you this time.
Able to get him from me, huh? You were always aiming for him the moment you noticed I had a new fiancé, right? I don't think you just luckily got him from me without any effort.
No matter what you have to say about how I find my men, you're still the one without a lover. He has chosen me and chosen to leave you so that we can get married. And we have both agreed to make that marriage very soon. So no matter how hard you try to get him back from me, it's all going to be for nothing because he's already in my arms for good.
Going to be for nothing, huh? At this point, I'd rather let you have him.
And that's because you're too depressed to fight for him. And I can understand why you're depressed. You were bragging in front of everyone about your fiancé, saying that it was about time you planned to get married. But now he's gone, stolen away by your better looking friend. And we're going to live the life you wish you could.
Gina, why have you chosen to talk to me today? Does you sending me this invitation to your wedding mean that you actually want me to come to it?
Well, you are my best friend after all.
What? Since when have I been your best friend recently?
I would be happy to have my very depressed and loser of a friend at my wedding to give a speech for me and me fiancé.
You really are the worst.
Will you not do it? I really want a loser like you giving the speech that day. I'm your best friend after all, so that should be all right, right?
Right now, I don't think of you as my best friend. And I'm sure you only want me there on stage so that you can make fun of me in front of everyone. I know about what you plan to do with me when I get there, and I don't want in on it.
I'm not planning to use you as the laughing stock or anything. Rather, I just think it would be fun time. I want to make sure that everyone at my wedding is entertained, and your speech would help us out a lot with that. And I'd like to take the chance to explain to everyone just how fun it was stealing your fiancé from you. Now, I'm going to have this wedding whether you like it or not. So just come and give that speech for me.
Fine, leave it to me.
You're such a great friend, Christine.
I'll make sure to be there on the day of your wedding. And I'll make sure that I'm completely prepared to give a great speech.
And that's the reason right there as to why you're my best friend. I'll be looking forward to the speech, okay?
But in exchange for me coming and giving that speech, can I bring a +1?
Huh? Who do you plan on bringing to my wedding?
I plan to have a very important person come along with me. That should be fine with you, right? You don't even have to worry about them having a seat there or not, as they'll only stay for a short bit. That okay with you?
An important person? You only just had your fiancé stolen from you by your best friend. So who else could be there left to call an important person to you? Are you trying to impress everyone around you again? Well, go ahead and bring whoever that person is. It would be lonely for you to have to come by yourself as the biggest loser after all. I'll be waiting to see what poor sap you drag along.
Perfect. Now I'm really looking forward to that wedding of yours.
Where the hell did you go? You just made my wedding into a mess and ran off like that? Right now, they are considering having this whole wedding put off after what you did. What the hell was up with that introduction?
What do you mean, what was up with it? I was just telling everyone the truth.
No freaking way you were telling the truth. I want to know who the hell that handsome man was. Why was he with you?
I only just told everyone who he was, right? Why are you not willing to believe what I said?
I'm sure that you just paid that handsome man to be your man for the day to show off, right? You brought him with you with the sole purpose of making me jealous.
I'm sure that you know the truth and are just trying to make up excuses in your head at this point, right? But what I told you and everyone else today was the truth. And that speech I gave was just to let everyone know the big secret. But you could also say that today was the day I finally got my revenge on you for what you did to me. Well, it's all over with now, and I've had my fun, so you can relax now as I'm no longer going to do anything to you.
There's no way thought that you just got married to that man. You're lying. And what is this about the man I stole from you being a stalker that's been following you around for ages? Saying that in front of all our guests about my husband is extremely rude.
I'm sorry for that, but it's the truth. He's been stalking me for over 3 months now, and now he seems to have taken a greater liking into you. I'm so glad that you went looking for him, because now he will no longer be my problem.
How could you make me so embarrassed in front of all my guests, though? I still believe that what you told today is all lies, but everyone out there doesn't know that yet, and they have started to believe you. I'm so freaking embarrassed.
Well, to my husband and I, seeing you freak out like that in front of everyone over my speech was so amusing that I almost peed in my dress giving that speech. I really did a number on you today. And not only did my husband and I get a good laugh in, but my revenge is now complete.
Do you have any freaking idea what the hell you've done by giving such a bullcrap speech like that in front of everyone, though? You get back here right now and tell everyone here that you lied to them. If you don't do it right now, I'll never forgive you.
I don't need you to forgive me, Gina. I have never been wanting anything from you this whole time, actually. I just wanted to make you as embarrassed as possible today, and I think I did a great job of that. And the fact that you married that stalker really has made me so happy.
Stop with all that crap right now. Do you not have a freaking heart, Christine? Why would you do something like this to someone?
You think that I'm the one without a heart? Okay.
Huh?
Do you have the right to be saying that I'm heartless after what you did to me? In reality, that man is nothing more than a stalker of mine, but you went after and stole him only because you believed he was my fiancé, right?
And so freaking what?
You see? The only thing that sat where your heart should be is a rotting pile of anger and jealousy. And this was your second time doing that to me, right? The first time you did this, I already knew you were heartless and chose to cut my ties with you. But you did end up apologizing to me for that eventually, and so I let it go for a while after. However, this time you did it again. And had that man actually been my fiancé, you would have scarred me 2 times. That is completely messed up, Gina. When you contacted me the first time saying that you wanted me to introduce that stalker to you, I already knew what you were planning to do.
But I didn't think that by doing this, my whole wedding would be ruined. And if it so happens that what you're saying is true about this Brad guy, then that means he really isn't your fiancé, right?
Well, I did say that he wasn't, right? But the fact that you still went after him and married him is wild to me. Well, it's totally fine with me that you took him away from me because all he caused me was trouble by constantly following me around. You really failed at your goal this time, but as for me, I was very lucky to have you come at me for seconds.
I cannot believe this. Are you sure that everything you said today in that speech is true? I do not want to believe you for a second, but...
Well, if you don't want to believe me, then who am I to care? To be honest, it's probably better that you look away from the truth and keep believing the lies you tell yourself.
This isn't about me believing in some lies or not.
I made sure to lure him out behind me so that you'd run into him thinking he was my fiancé. And it just so happens that you did what I expected you to do. And look at that. You both fell in love with one another, and that's a win for everyone, right? And as for the speech, I made it very entertaining and had a lot of fun giving it. So you should be happy.
Wait, Christine, Brad is telling me right now that he doesn't have a job yet.
Huh? I thought I made his situation very clear to you. At this point, even he's telling you the same thing I said, so he has to be telling you the truth.
And he said that before he did have a liking for you, but that he now is totally invested in me. Even going so far as to look up everything about me. What he's saying about me right now is really scary.
Well, that's the type of creepy stalker that he is. Before he used to work for an investigation agency, but he was fired from there for using the tools that they had to look into younger women and learn about where they lived and such. So after becoming unemployed, he used what he learned to continue doing what he does, and that's stalking. Unfortunately, he lived in the apartment next to mine for a while and began to really become attached to me and follow me everywhere. But soon he couldn't afford that apartment anymore and moved out. However, he still knew where I lived and where I'd go. Luckily, he's on to you now, and you've just married him, making his job of stalking you way easier.
You have to be freaking joking. So he's pretty much learned everything he needs about me?
Isn't that just great, though? You have finally found someone that loves you so much and was willing to marry you. And with him watching your every move now, you'll never be able to cheat or get a divorce from him. Have a wonderful life, the two of you.
He doesn't have a job and will expect me to support him now? If I'd known that he was this kind of person, I wouldn't have forced us to get married so quickly. I thought that when you started to brag about your man so much, this was the man you were talking about. This is the worst, Christine.
Well, whether you feel that this is the worst or not, I wasn't the one that forced you to start dating Brad and choose to marry him. So if you're going to try and blame me for this, good luck. In the end, you were the one that made the choice to take him away from me and then marry him and get yourself into the position you're in now.
He told me that he'd pay for this whole wedding after we got married even. But now he's telling me that he has nothing in his savings. What should I do about all of this? Making me pick up such a creepy man.
Making you pick him up? You were the one that went after him, right? Well, you yourself are a very crappy woman, so the two of you will get along very well together. Must suck to finally learn that the man you went out of your way to steal, thinking that he was my fiancé, has turned out to be a stalker of mine, and in no way my fiancé. And another thing, the way you ended up finding out about me having a fiancé in the first place was because I told my friend to purposefully start telling you about him in hopes that you'd come to steal that stalker away.
Huh? Why would you go out of your own way to tell me that?
Well, it has to do with the fact that you went and stole my ex from me before, so I thought that using Brad as bait for you to fall into my trap would be a great move on my part. And man, did you fall into my trap perfectly. And you ended up taking my stalker away as well.
What the hell? I knew it. I knew that you did this to me.
Well, I never thought that you'd jump to marry him this fast, and was hoping that you'd at least learn who he was before tying the knot. So don't blame all of that on me. You were the one that said yes to marrying him, right? And now you've gotten to learn that he is indeed a stalker, and has no money to his name at the moment.
What?
And he's currently in debt, actually. And I learned that from someone who's worked with him. And so you can believe him when he says he has nothing. I'm sure that he feels like a winner right now, because he found himself a woman that will take care of all his needs and pay off his debt.
You have to be freaking kidding me. Brad is in debt as well?
He sure is. He's in debt and is a huge stalker, so congrats! And now you're going to have to pay for that whole wedding all by yourself. And I hope you look forward to a life of having to support your husband with your paychecks.
This is so messed up. At this point, there's no meaning to this marriage.
Well, you've been waiting to get married and we're looking for a man, right? You should be jumping with joy right now since you finally have your husband. I wish you both the best as you start a new life together. But I'm sure to you, this will be the start of your life in hell. Gina ended up asking Brad about what all Kristen was saying, and he told Gina that she was in fact telling the truth about him and their situation. Gina was furious to hear this from even him, and told him that they would be getting a divorce right away. But Brad was not having it and said he didn't want anything to do with leaving her. Looking at it from the outside, you can see that Gina really did end up doing it to herself and would not be able to run away from Brad easily. And as for Gina's parents who were at the wedding, they were embarrassed about what they learned about her and ended up disowning her after the wedding and cutting ties. Well, Gina really did do a great job screwing herself and would now get to experience what hell is really like. But this is all what she deserves for being such a rotten woman, and I'm sure there will be nobody coming to help save her. As for Kristen and her husband, they were able to go on their honeymoon after they finished what they needed to do at Gina's wedding. Kristen also made sure to block Gina's phone number in order to make sure that Gina would never become a problem for her again. Of course, this may not stop her from coming to Kristen's apartment, but soon her and her husband will be moving into a new home together, and by then, Gina will lose her only way of getting to Kristen.
Hey, old man. You were acting all tough earlier today when giving me those instructions, right? I think you'd better think twice next time before doing that.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
I think you know who I'm the daughter of, right? If you keep something like that up with me, then you'll never have a chance of moving up here.
Moving up? I know that you're the daughter of Mr. Sanchez, but I had heard from your manager that your attitude is something that needs to be adjusted. And so I was around today to see how things were going with you and to give you some help.
That right there! I'm telling you that the way you're talking to me is not okay. I'm not the kind of person you're allowed to boss around like that. I am the daughter of this department's director. Please look at the position you're in and think if it's really okay for you to talk to me that way.
Are you sure that you're not the one that should be looking at the position you're in and getting a better understanding of it?
Excuse me?
Everyone here knows that the only reason you were hired into this company is because of the connection you have. But I'd like you to stop thinking that gives you any power over me. You are just another new hire to the rest of us. You should be thanking me for taking the time to give you some pointers today on becoming a better employee. Being as blunt as you are with all your coworkers and management is not acceptable here.
Do you even know who my father is?
I told you I do. How many more times are you gonna ask me that? I don't think there's any reason for you to ask me that though. Did you not understand the meaning of the message I just sent you a second ago? Right now you are acting in a way that your father, Mr. Sanchez, is not happy with. At this moment, there are plenty of people here that are upset with your father because of you.
They're not upset with him. They're all afraid of him, and so they won't do a thing about me being his daughter. I'm really not sure why you keep acting like you know better than me here, but I'll have my father come and tear you a new one.
I'll have him do that with you.
Huh? Why would he do that to me?
If he learned about the way his daughter acts while being here, he'd be disappointed. He's a very serious and diligent man.
I have no idea what you're wanting to say here, but old man, think about the position you're in for me, please. If you act out any more with me, then I'm going to make you regret ever working for this company in the first place.
I wonder if you could really do that. For the time being, Faye, I would like you to continue your work here with a more acceptable attitude, please. I am allowed to ask this from you, and I don't want to have to ask you again. So make sure to change the way you're acting here, or else things will not go so well for you. I think you can understand what I'm asking here, right?
I have not a single clue what you're asking me. I don't even have the time right now to talk with you, old man.
You were the one that began texting me, hence my reply to you and your attitude. I, myself, am a very busy man and have things to return to, so I'll be going.
Tomorrow, you'd better act like a well-trained dog, old man.
I'm only 40 years old, Faye.
Well, compared to me, you're old as a rock. Please think about what I've said to you today. If you don't, you'll have to bring some lube to work with you before getting talked to by him.
Perhaps it'll be you that'll have to have a talk with your father. I think that would be much more beneficial to the company.
Idiot! Was that coffee pretty delicious?
You really went and spilled coffee on me now, huh? What exactly made you think something like that was a good idea?
Do you know who my father is?
You're a rude one. You already asked me that question twice yesterday, and here you come again with it.
My father is the director of this department. I have more power than you do because of that. So do you think you can stop trying to talk to me like you have been all the time, old man? I had to spill that coffee on you today because you wouldn't stop complaining about me.
I'm going to have to teach you directly then that you have no power here, and not even your dad, being the director, will save you.
What are you talking about? Have you gone insane now, Grandpa? I was going to tell my father about how you acted towards me today and have him chew you out. But then I decided spilling coffee on you would be more effective, and man, was it funny watching you react to that. I think I'll forgive you now. But don't you ever come up to me saying weird things again.
Was the weird thing I said to you today me giving you some instructions?
That's right. What is it with you and thinking you can tell me what to do? You are not the kind of person that's allowed to talk to the director's daughter that way. You should be thankful that I was willing to forgive you after I spilled my coffee on your head.
What do you think you are doing to this company's CEO?
Huh? The CEO?
This is your father speaking with you right now.
Huh? Dad?
You come down to my office right now, you idiot.
Hold up, Dad? Why are you upset with me? What's this about the CEO?
I just had a word with your dad, and I believe he wants you to come down and speak with us.
My dad was super pissed at me, but I had no clue about you, and so all of this was bound to happen.
I'm done with you, Faye. After how hard your father went into you over how you've been treating me, you still don't understand the seriousness of the situation? You seem pretty full of yourself when in his office. Are you going to listen to what he told you, or not?
But I was thinking you were just some old man that's useless to the company. However, you're saying you've been the CEO this whole time? Are you sure you're not a fraud or something?
Fraud? Stop trying to be funny, Faye. It's because of what you've done today that your father had to get on his hands and knees and apologize to me.
Huh? Why did my dad do that? I told you guys that I just didn't know. Just assumed you were an old man on his way out of here.
You not even knowing who your own CEO is definitely something I should have expected from you.
But everyone else never spoke to you like you're the CEO of this company. So that means you're just a fraud, right?
Can you please stop with the fraud talk, please? Is that the only response you have to me now?
Well, it's the truth, though, right? Everyone just calls you Craig, so I assumed you were nothing more than a base-level employee.
And that's because I don't like being called anything besides my first name.
You really don't want people calling you Mr. Turner or Sir? Why not? Would you give up on trying to cover up the fact that you're in fact a fraud?
I would rather just have everyone call me Greg. I enjoy running a company where everyone can feel close to one another and don't have to feel distant when coming to talk with me.
And it's that kind of stupid idea that made me think you were nothing more than an old man. If I'd actually known that you were the CEO of this place, then I would have never did what had to be done to you.
What are you talking about, Faye? Whether I'm the CEO or not, you pouring coffee on someone above you is not acceptable. Actually, pouring it onto anyone is unacceptable. I've seriously had enough of you here. Do I really have to tell you that for you to understand? That is supposed to be common sense to everyone as an adult.
I really do not know what the hell you keep going on about. Can you explain all of that to me again in a language that I can actually understand?
Is that what you want? I totally overlooked you being the type of person that needs everything explained to you in a childish manner for you to understand it. Let me tell you that just because you're here because of your connection to your father, that does not mean you get any sort of special treatment. And you never seemed to understand that, did you? You seem to have thought that you could do whatever you want because you're the department director's daughter. But that's not the case. And I, the CEO, shouldn't have to be telling you something as basic as that either. All you've shown to me today is that you don't have an ounce of common sense in that head of yours.
Well, you can say all you want, but I'm still young.
Everyone else that was hired in with you is your age. The age of the people that are hired is not the problem here. But really, I never expected the day to come that one of my very exceptional employees would have to come apologize to me the way your father did.
Making my dad apologize to you like that is screwed up, by the way. Are you Satan or something? Why would you do that to my poor dad?
I totally forgot. You need things explained to you like you're a baby. You did something very bad today, and your daddy had to say sorry because you don't care about him. Does that help?
Huh?
It's because of you that your father had to come and apologize like that to me. I've even explained that to you in your language now, yet you're acting like you still don't understand?
It's my fault that my dad had to do that?
So that means you still don't understand what you did to me? I cannot believe there are people your age that act like you are. You spilled coffee onto the CEO of this company on purpose. Don't you think your father getting all up in arms like that with you was justified?
Well, I guess that was a little too far now that I think about it. But it wasn't like the coffee was that hot, right? If you don't have any injuries, then is there really a point for getting upset with me?
I think we were more surprised at what you've done to me than anything else. You're fired, Faye. I can't deal with your crap anymore.
Huh? I'm the one being fired? Why me? You're wrongfully firing me. What is wrong with you, old man? You can't fire me without a good reason.
Oh, come on. Say please. I really don't want to have to sit here all day explaining obvious things to you. Did you seriously not see anything wrong with pouring coffee on me like you did today? I am not going to allow someone as ridiculous as you to continue working for me. I'm tired of you acting like an idiot, but I also don't want to watch your father have to apologize for your actions again.
Do you really think I'm the one that did that to my dad? I didn't do anything to cause him to become embarrassed by me.
I'm going to need to call my doctor tonight. Need a refill on my prescription because of how terrible of a headache you've given me. I'm sorry, Faye, but you literally spilled coffee not only on your boss, but your father's boss as well. And you did it on purpose. What makes all of that even worse, though, is that the coffee ruined my new suit that I had imported from Italy. All of that right there should be more than enough to get you to come apologize to me. Yet, for some reason, you have no desire to do so yet. That right there shows me enough.
I do want to apologize. Sorry.
I had to tell you to apologize to me for you to do that.
But I apologized, right? So we can be done with all this now. Can't you see that I've learned whatever lesson you wanted to teach me and I can go back to work now?
Faye, I wish there was a hotline I could call to help you get the help you need. But there isn't. So the best thing I could do for me and everyone else here is fire you.
Huh? If you do that, my dad's going to be pissed at you next. You don't even have the right to fire me, even though you're the CEO. Oh, I could start going around saying that you overworked me and some other things to make you get fired.
I'm sorry, but you haven't been here long enough. Only a few weeks, and that's not enough to make such a claim. And since there was a reason to fire you in such a short time frame, it will be understood that what you did was very unacceptable within my company. And then that claim of yours will go right in the trash. I think trying that would be a huge waste of your time, but do whatever makes you happy.
What? So then I'm really being fired right now? Is my dad okay with you doing that to me? No way, right?
Well, if it makes it any better, your dad said he'd agree with me firing himself as well as you.
Huh? My dad said that?
He felt responsible for what you done, but I'm not going to fire him. He is one of my best employees, and losing him because of his mentally handicapped daughter's actions wouldn't be fair. So I think your dad is totally alright with me firing you. So go and grab all of your things off your desk, and leave my building. Just a bit ago, when you met with your father and I, you didn't even bother saying and apologizing to me then. So I'm afraid you don't have anything to say to me directly now either, nor will you listen to me.
Hold on, please. I wanted to apologize to you then, but I just assumed then wasn't the best time since my dad was so angry. I was just going to wait for a better time.
Well, this is the result of you misreading the atmosphere. Ugh, good luck at whatever company hires you next. But it won't be any company in this part of town, I'm afraid. I'll make sure to explain what happened with us that led to your very early termination. I think finding a job around here, after this, is going to be difficult for you.
Huh? Wait, if you start going around and telling other companies about me, I'll be screwed. And now my dad's starting to tell me to leave the office and go away. He doesn't even want me going back to my parents' house now. If all of this is for real, then I'll be royally screwed, Craig.
Not my problem. I have a headache now, so I'm not going to think much about your future. The best I can say for you to do now is to go back to elementary school and start over again. Now, I need to get going to the pharmacy to grab more meds for my blood pressure. can you hurry up and get lost already?
So you're going to be just like my dad? How am I supposed to go back to elementary school at my age?
Jesus. That was a joke, Faye. I swear, the actual thing you need to do is go book yourself into the nearest mental clinic and have them do a psychiatric exam on you. But that's up to you. There's nothing left I can do with you now, and thank God for that. Now, thank you for your 2.5 weeks here.
You're just going to leave me?
And I'm pulling the cost of my new imported suit from your next paycheck. I mean, your only paycheck.
Huh? Are you kidding me?
It's either that, or you pay me right now for the suit. At least be happy that you'll still be getting $100 or so from me.
Wait a minute! Please think about all of this.
My head hurts too much to think. Bye. There's a clinic down the street you can walk to that takes people without appointment, so go there.
In the end, Faye was fired from her job and thrown out of the office building. And not even her dad said anything else to her, instead choosing to completely forget about her as his daughter. He and his wife then cut ties with her and told her to never enter their house again. And as Craig had said to Faye, there would be little chance of a company near his office being open to hiring her, and so she was forced into a tough situation which her life teetered on. The following day, she came back to the office when Craig was walking into work and tried to apologize and ask for another chance. But he lashed out on her hard and forced her to pay for his ruined suit right then and there with whatever she had on her. And once she had emptied her purse of pretty much any money she had, he had security come escort her outside the office complex, and that was the last time she was ever seen by anyone. I'm sure that some of this had to do with her being spoiled at birth, but there is also the fact that she really did seem to have something wrong with her. Everyone at the office, including Craig even, hopes that wherever she is now, she's getting the help she needs.